Hi, hello everyone. My name is Azhar Abdurrahman Fauzi. I'm from Blemba 73. Here I'm going to present about the applied microeconomic. We will share about the market behavior, firm decisions, and welfare implication in household retail industry. This presentation is for the midterm test for economic and business landscape. Okay, we will start from the chapter one. We will talk about the market definition first. There are three things that we will discuss. What is household retail industry? Who is the buyer and who is the sellers? Okay, household retail industry is an industry that sells products such as kitchen utensils, storage containers, stationery, decorative cleaning tools, and small household hardware, which the product that always used every day by the household. Okay, and who is the buyer? The buyer in this market consists mainly of middle on lower income consumer who are looking for practical and affordable household goods. And who is the seller? For sure, there's a lot of seller here because the market structure of the household industry is the monopolistic competitions, but only three notable firms. There are Mr. DIY, ASCO, and NECA. Okay, I will start from the what is determinants of demand and supply. We'll talk about the demand first. The first one is the consumer income. If the consumer income higher, so it can be easier for customer to buy the product, so the demand will increase. The second is price of substitute product goods. The third is consumer preference and shopping experience, and the number four is store location and accessibility. And the determinants of the supply differ into things. The first one is procurement cost, and the second is logistic and distribution efficiency. So I share the curve here, which for the y-axis is the price and x-axis is the quantity. So the red line we talk about supply, and the blue line we talk about the demand. For sure that as we know, if the price is higher and the quantity will be higher, so the supply will always go up. That could be different with the demand, right? So from this curve, so we will talk about the equilibrium point. What is the equilibrium point? For sure that if in the business there are a profit, so the product will always increase. Like I mean that the firm will be add things or another. So there are the midpoint. So what we talk it the equilibrium point, which the number of the price that can be paid by the customer. Okay, so the second one, we will talk about the price elasticity of the demand. So what is price elasticity? Price elasticity is the how many impact that happen by the change. Okay, so we'll talk about the formula first. The formula of price elasticity of demand equal to percent of change in quantity demanded divided by the percent change in price. If the elasticity value is more than 1, so demand considered elastic, meaning consumer are highly responsive to price change. If the elasticity value is below 1, demand is considered inelastic, meaning consumer are less sensitive to price change. For example, Mr. DIY sells a kitchen container for 20,000. If the price increased by 10% to 20,000, the quantity demand decreased by 15% as consumers choose alternative retailers. The elasticity can be calculated as elasticity equal to 15% divided by 10% equal to 1.5. Okay, so I already provide you the elastic curve. The first one is elastic demand, right? So if the price is changed, that possible for the demand is changed also. And the second is neutral demand, and the third is inelastic demand. The inelastic demand is whatever the change for the price, the demand is always in the same number. For the example, like for the energy industry or firm that handled by the government, such as the monopoly market structure, something like that. But what we talk in the household industry, we talk about the elastic demand. Okay, for the chapter, so we'll talk about the implication for pricing and government policies. Because demand is elastic in the household retail industry, Mr. DIY generally adopt a low price and high volume strategy than the other firm like ASCO or NECA. Elasticity on government policy. If the government impose tax on imported household product, the cost of the supplying this good may increase. Okay, so I already provide you the two curve if we talk about the shift in demand and supply. Okay, for the first curve, so we will see that the increase of uh, the demand, right? So if the demand increase, so the price will be higher because a lot of people need the product, right? But the supply is not always in same conditions. Uh, and in the second curve, so we will see that the decrease in the supply, right? So the price will be higher, but the quantity is will be lower. Okay, and then we'll talk about the cost structure. There are several costs that used by the firms. The first one is the fixed cost. Fixed cost is almost same, not depend on the output of the product. Expenses that do not change with the level of output or sales, and marginal and variable cost is change depending on the number of products sold. The marginal cost is refers to the additional cost incurred when selling one more unit of a product, and average cost is represent the total cost divided by the number of units sold. How the monopolistic market structure have the profit maximizations. Mr. DIY itself maximize profit, which is the difference between total revenue and total cost, where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost, or MR equal to MC. I already provide you the curve here. So we will talk about the curve, like you already see the MR equal to MC, right? Here, so so the way monopolistic competition market structure, or we talk here, Mr. DIY. So we will get the profit maximization by ensure that the margin of revenue equal to margin of cost. Okay, so the market structure that has by the household retail industry is the monopolistic competition, which consists of many players. Of the firm are particularly notable, only three. The first one is Mr. Dewi Indonesia as the market leader. The second is ASCO, which mid to large firm, and NECA, the small one. Okay, how is the interactions among all of the firms? So we'll talk about the pricing first. Mr. DIY has the low price strategy to attract price sensitive customers. ASCO is slightly higher. They are focused on the quality products, and NECA is competitive local pricings. How about the output? For sure that Mr. DIY have a high sales volume because large product variety and affordable price. ASCO is moderate, and NECA is lower sales volume due to the smaller store scale. And the last is the market power. limited but stronger too due to the brand recognition and wide product assortment. ASCO moderate through product quality differentiations, and NECA low market power, mainly competing through convenience. And the last one, we will talk about the basic welfare analysis of Mr. DIY Indonesia. The first one, we'll talk about the customer surplus. What is customer surplus? Customer surplus is the difference between the willingness to pay and the actual market price to present customer surplus. For example, customer might be willing to pay for 25,000 for a useful storage container, but only needs to pay 20,000 at Mr. DIY. It means that the gap between the 25,000 minus 20,000 equal to 5,000 is the customer surplus. And the second one for the producer surplus is producer surplus represent the difference between the price producer receive for a product and the minimum cost required to supply that product. For example, Mr. DIY as the firm purchased a product from a supplier for a thousand and sells it for 12,000. The difference contributes to producer surplus after accounting for operating costs. What we call here is the profit margin, right? Because 12,000 minus 8,000 will be 4,000. So what we call here is the producer surplus. I already give you the curve for this consumer surplus and producer surplus, right? So the consumer surplus should be there and producer surplus will be there for the year number. Okay, maybe that's from me. Thank you for the time.